of that are that it's factual.
Yeah,
Right.
and a lot of descriptive.
Description.
I get messed up on adjectives first, and then so I still have to.
So just description, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else? What else would be part of it?
Action, maybe?
Yep, action.
A lot of action. I think that would keep people on the edge of their seats.
This is creative nonfiction. This is what I call Woodbury's love child. And I was so glad that, you know, people like Ernest Hemingway helped turn the tide of writing, because before there was fiction and then there was nonfiction. And they were like two planets orbiting the sun on opposite sides of the galaxy. No, not so much.
Can you write could you write a story that just came to me? Can you merge fiction with nonfiction, like add fictitious parts to a
Yes, you can.
nonfiction?
Yeah, because just about every question that anybody is going to ask me tonight, I will say yes.
That would be
Yes, you can.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you can. So I'll just write, yes, you can. Here, that'll be it for the rest of the night. But we'll talk about more about this. Okay, so think about fiction. In fiction, you've got some facts, right? Anybody here ever read historical fiction? Yeah, it's the best, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, I love it. It's what I call the spoonful of sugar helps the historical medicine go down. School of writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got some facts in it. It's factual. You learn a lot from fiction. Think of a novel. Everybody just think of a novel that you've read, say in the last year, if you have done so. And just quick, what's one thing you learned?
I learned a lot about archaeology.
What did you learn?
I learned so much about the natives and the
History.
History. But about what? Think of a novel. What did you learn specifically?
Queen,
Yeah.
history of how Iraq was formed.
Oh, yeah, I know about, yeah. What did you learn?
I'm reading a Kingsolver novel, she puts a lot of biology and
A lot of biology. Barbara Kingsolver, oh my God, is that not the best book in the world? I know, I just love that one. I know which one.
She's written a lot of novels.
I read everything she's ever written. I think she's an absolute genius. Yeah, Barbara Kingsolver, by the way. If you ever want to read brilliant fiction, which is hardly fiction at all.
Residential school.
Sure.
experience.
Yeah. What did you learn in a novel that you could think of offhand?
Can you repeat?
What's that?
Can you repeat?
Think of a book you read. It's a novel, and something you learned in the book. You think about it. I'll come back. Okay. Hi. How about you?
Learn about Bletchley Place in the Second World War.
Brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely.
I read the Tao Te Ching,
Yes.
and just how an idea can be like brought from the past, like so long ago, and still have it sort of apply to everyday life.
Yeah. Brilliant. What did you learn from a novel lately?
I haven't read in years.
Oh my God.
That's my biggest weakness right now.
Yeah.
Is, stuff going on.
Stuff. It's called life. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What did you learn?
The Great Pearl Ice,
Yeah.
France and London during the 1890s.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And you?
Early onset Alzheimer's.
Early onset Alzheimer's. Okay, so all of these were novels, is that right? And they were all classified as fiction, right? Because they're novels, right? So how fictional were they?
Based on
Exactly. So I'm going to
a
add.
story written around the historical fact.
Exactly.
Fictional. Oh.
So now it's more of kind of a relationship between creative nonfiction and fiction. Hi, are you coming in?
No, I'm looking for the no residents.
Oh, no, sorry, no. Maybe she would like to attend a writing course instead. Sounds much more interesting. Okay, so think of stories. It's stories that you loved, books that you loved. There's information, right? There's description of places, of people, of things, of times, of experiences. There's action, stuff is going on. And sometimes action is outside, what I call the outer landscape. And sometimes the action is on the inside, your inner landscape. Think of a time in your life where something was going on inside you. Something triggered something so profound, and nobody could see it from the outside. Yeah? You either had to try very hard to hide it, or you were just captured by it. and it was all going on inside you. That's action. So not all action is, shoot 'em ups and car chases and love scenes. Sometimes it's all going on inside. Sometimes one moment you could write a whole book about. Right? Okay, so action of all kinds. Inner and outer. Okay, think about other kinds of things that are important parts and that we love about reading stories. Stories of any kind. Big ones, little ones, fiction ones, non-fiction ones, any kind.
I like the ones that trigger a lot of visualization while you're reading it. Like
So, through description?
Yeah.
So aspects of it?
Triggers, like you stop pausing for a moment and kind of putting it into a
The
picture
movie is in your head.
Yeah.
So maybe it's all in the six senses.
The sensory aspect, I think, of
Exactly.
reading.
So I say six. Why? What's the sixth?
ASP.
Let's call it intuition. For the faint of heart. Let's call it a gut feeling for the people who are thick with that. You can call it anything you want besides that. Okay, so don't forget the sixth sense. So, there's sight and taste and smell and touch and all that kind of stuff that you want to include in your writing. But what's important is that other thing, that other weird little thing. Who here has never, ever, ever, ever had a hunch, a feeling, a gut feeling, that prickling in the back of your neck? Who has never had that? Who's ever had some intuition, an odd inkling of something? Anybody not had that? So we can all write the sixth sense, right? Yeah, exactly. Phone rings, you were just thinking about somebody, haven't seen them for years, pick up the phone, it's them. Weird, right? Who has not had odd experiences like that? No. So, we definitely can write about sixth senses. That's the one that sometimes gets left, but it is a part, literally, of daily life. You got to step out on the curb. Something holds you back, you put your foot back up. Yeah. Right? So if that's a regular part of life, don't forget to write that in. That's a part of building in the intensity and the emotion and the feelings and what they call the density of your writing, making it deeper and wider for your reader. Okay, what else do we want? What else do we want when we're reading stories?
Characters.
Characters. We want characters. And characters that I like to call 3D. Three-dimensional. But they're not cardboard cutouts. That's kind of generic. They're three-dimensional characters. They're whole people. Anybody ever seen the yin and yang symbol? It's like this. Yep. You know this one, the yin and yang symbol. So when you think of the characters, you're building your characters, think of it this way. Because one of these is dark with a white circle, and one of these is white with a dark circle. You've seen that, right? So think of your characters like this. So all the good guys, yeah, have just that little dark part of them, like we all do. And all the bad guys have something redeeming about them. Because that makes them more real. Have you ever met anybody who's all completely good? I mean, really, truly, all completely good.
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Or somebody who's all completely bad, even though you're mad at them. There's some redeeming value. And even if you're writing about somebody, or fictionally or non-fictionally, you will always put that in because that's what makes them interesting. Surprising. How many people here have known somebody for more than 20 years? More than 30 years? More than 40 years. Okay, I'm stopping there. Okay, let's say a really long time. That person, whoever that person is that has just come to your mind, do they still surprise you? Have they surprised you with something? Even after knowing them for a long, long time?
Sometimes it depends on the person. Like I got one friend from high school I've known like 36 years.
And they can
Sometimes,
still
but-
surprise you.
But you know what? You know the person, right?
Well, the good part is they can still surprise you. That's what's cool. That's what's cool. And that's what we want in our characters too, that they're still surprising the reader. Okay. So what else do we want in stories?